Time now for my daily interview series, Money Talks. And today I'm talking to one of the UK's most prominent Iraqi-born entrepreneurs and philanthropists. Dr. Majid AlSadi has a PhD in engineering from Coventry University. He's the founder of the Centre for the New Midlands. That's a think tank with a vision for the West Midlands to have a new and unique trading relationship with Iraq and the broader Middle East. And here he is, our latest Money Talks, Dr. Majid AlSadi. Majid, if I may, great to have you in the studio. It's so interesting to talk to you. I've been following your work. What you believe in is that the UK has a unique opportunity to trade a lot more with the rest of the world, particularly the Middle East. There's obviously a very complex history between Britain and the Middle East, which we could discuss for the rest of the day. Absolutely. But you feel, don't you, there is still a sense of connection, goodwill, particularly in terms of business, and that the UK should be exploiting that by trading a lot more with a part of the world where there's a really fast-growing population and fast-growing economies.
Absolutely, thank you. Actually, just to correct the information, I'm the president of the council, not the founder. The founder is a friend of mine, Mr. Chris Smith, who approached me in 2020, knowing my interest in the Midland area and my appreciation to the years I spent there, and I made my first business with a small grant from the government. It was Mrs. Thatcher then, and I started a small business which had grown up into a multi-million business then. I strongly believe the Midland area has a huge potential in terms of industry, skilled labor, knowledge, IT, automotive industry, defense, and also the labor there are less costly than having people to work in London. But it's been ignored, in my opinion, for so many years, and there's no much promotion to the British product, to investment opportunities in the area. And I think Britain, as you rightly said in your book, we're busy with Europe losing a lot of the market in the Middle East to others. Talking of being an Iraqi myself, and I've been visiting Iraq regularly, you see a Chinese product, you see a Turkish, French, German, Russian, everybody. But you hardly, British. There isn't. And
in terms of tangible products, there might be absolutely financial services, legal services,
defense,
services,
maybe.
Defense,
exactly.
But consumer goods, customer-facing industries.
Absolutely. And I think even with a major contract in defense, in oil, we had President Macron 3 weeks ago came to Baghdad and signed $30 billion contract for Total to build a refinery.
French car makers are making hay, aren't they? Making cars in the Middle East.
Absolutely. Talking about cars, I mean, Iraq traditionally, the first country to have a double-decker Leyland in the 1940s. And people still have a fond memory of those. Now we have Chinese buses, which they've fallen apart after 2 years. Why? Petrochemical industries, water treatment, energy, cars. You hardly see any British cars in the streets. And that's the question. Where are the Brits? Where's the government who helped so much in removing Saddam Hussein in 2003, spending so much money, taxpayers' money, losing so many good lives, soldiers there. But when this over, they don't have any involvement in the business and trade, the commercial part
opportunities that have been created. I must admit, Majid, I've been a little bit selfish in asking you on because I too have a big interest in the West Midlands. Obviously, I'm not from the West Midlands, you can tell from my accent. Though I did spend many happy years at Warwick University,
right.
And I'm still on the board of the economics department there. I know from spending time in the West Midlands the quality of the industry that goes on there, the powerhouse it is, and the potential. And also, I spent a lot of time in the Middle East seeing the business opportunities. So what do we need to do here in the UK to really build on those cultural links? Obviously, there's an Iraqi diaspora here in the UK, an Egyptian diaspora, almost every country in the Middle East, every major economy, there's a community here, not just in London, but across the UK, as your experience shows, given your closeness to the West Midlands.
Right.
What do we have to do to take this up to the next level? Do you think there's some kind of guilt here in the UK that it feels like colonialism to be doing business in countries with which we have a complex relationship? Is there something we need to get over here?
But I don't think it's guilt. The Brits have an excellent relationship with the Middle East, the Gulf states. You'll see a lot of products there, a lot of big contracts awarded to British companies, but not in Iraq. And this is my main area. This is my focus. I think in the Midland Council, which we established, we have a three mission. The first one is to encourage the government as a think tank, giving them ideas how to support the Midland area, divert some money into their investment into housing, infrastructure, also incentivize the new startups, which will help unemployment quite dramatically.
Jobs and growth.
Exactly.
And tax revenue, by the way.
Absolutely. Secondly is to promote the products which is manufactured in the Midlands through subsidies. The Saudis, and upon my advice years ago, they subsidize their products which made in Saudi, which is very expensive and a high quality. They couldn't sell in the Iraqi market by allocating $1.5 billion into subsidizing products going to the Iraqi market. And I think the British government could do that in order to open the market for a British product. And the third mission is to get investment, a foreign investment into the Midlands area. I was in Birmingham yesterday and Coventry, and there is a huge potential with return on investment reaches 10%, and that does not exist anywhere in the world. So we need the government to join us as a private sector in getting these jobs done. I'm organizing a delegation in 3-4 months' time once the Iraqi government, the new Iraqi government, and the delegation will consist of academics from the universities in the Midland, manufacturers of all kinds, business people, MPs, the mayor of the Midland, Mr. Andy Street, he promised to come, and government ministers probably, and visit Jordan and Iraq, and promoting truly the British product and insist of the importance of getting these products into the shelves and to use it to the people with subsidy from the government.
Now, often, I mean, I come from an immigrant background myself. I come from an Irish background. You know, my people have come here since the 1930s, 40s, 50s. I think sometimes immigrant communities are in a better position to see what needs to be done in a country. They're often at the cutting edge of creating new businesses because they've got that kind of urgency to create something to justify the upheaval that they've endured. So with the eyes of somebody who loves the UK, and I know you do, a sort of grateful outsider who's now obviously your home is here, and we're lucky to have you. What do you think needs to happen in the West Midlands to really make this part of the country fulfill its potential, or at least get closer to what it can do and should be doing?
And to me, it's potential. It's a huge potential for it, and particularly it's Birmingham with the new train system they're applying. I think it's so closer to London now with minutes of getting there. So a lot of people will be living in the Midland area and up in Birmingham, in Coventry, and the areas of Warwick, and so a lot of investments need to go there in terms of housing, infrastructure, commercial. If the government encouraging new investors to come from the Middle East, and I'm chairing quite a few investments association in the Middle East, and by incentivize them through loans, low interest loans, through tax reliefs, through they will, you know, there's a lot of them will be coming here for 5% return, not 10% return, which we...
What about the labour force, skills, apprenticeships, training? Can you and your business colleagues hire the people that you need in the West Midlands?
Yes.
Are the skills there? Are the attitudes right? Do people want to go to work and improve their lot?
They do, actually. We have quite a few investments there, and we found a very skilled labour at a very reasonable price. It's different from
A lot
London.
cheaper than London, right?
A lot cheaper than London. And people want to work, they want to improve the situation. They stuck there for tens of years. You know, some people I know back in the 80s, they still in Birmingham and in Coventry. They haven't seen the rest of the world. And the depression came with the emotional depression, if you like, with
as
the
industry
pandemic.
wound down, car making in the area wound
Absolutely.
down. Starting to recover though.
Yeah,
It's
starting to recover. There's a lot of foreign investment in electric cars, for example.
Sure.
In Coventry, the Tata, the Nissan are doing
So you've got Japan there, India.
Exactly. So we need to see more people coming in, invest more there, by incentivize them through tax reliefs and what have you. The government has to play a role. I think it's very important that government, private sector have to form this new system to encourage investment.
There's a lot of talk about the Northern Powerhouse, the Midlands engine. Finally, Dr. AlSadi, mark out of 10. How do you think we're doing in making those two concepts a reality?
Not in the Midland, but I would say it's good. There's a lot of money went into the northeast and northwest and the south, but not a lot in the Midland. I would like to see some more money.
We'll stay in touch and we will return to this important subject. Great to see you in the studio. That's my latest Money Talks guest, Dr. Majid AlSadi, entrepreneur, philanthropist and president of the Centre for the New Midlands. There are similar conversations with players from the world of business, finance and politics. Dozens of extended Money Talks interviews